It's tax season, and the scam artists are at it once again. That's what we're talking about in today's Money Watch. The IRS recently announced the Dirty Dozen. All right, that's the annual list of the latest scams that threaten taxpayers, businesses, and tax professionals. And I'm happy to say that CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger joins us now with more. Good morning.
I hate that we have to do this.
Oh,
I really do, because
but that's why we have you. So we are blessed.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the time of year where the criminals are out with gusto. And the IRS tries really hard to get in touch with us to say, please spread the word. And so that is why we're here. We're not here to scare you. We're here to help you with your defensive driving.
I like that. And, you know, I think especially when it comes to tax season, this is something everyone's really worried about. So what are some of the red flags that come with communication? You know, what should you be expecting from the IRS?
The IRS generally will not text you, will not message you on social media. They will use snail mail. You know, that's the weird thing. It's very rare even that the IRS would call you unless they have an existing relationship. So I think if you get some messaging, it's probably not from the IRS. Ignore it. I think the other thing that's really important is that if you're getting some sort of messaging or some communication which feels sort of threatening, pressuring,
like urgent, yeah,
demanding payment, saying you're going to go to jail if you don't do this. These are red flags. The IRS does not communicate this way. If you have any sort of issue, if you by mistake answered the phone, if you responded to something, just hang up. Make sure you got a screenshot of something, and do not give out your personal information to anyone who purports to be from the IRS.
I think that's a good frame of reference. Any time that it taps into that fear that we're going to get a penalty, we're doing something wrong, that's a good moment for you to check and say, hey, let me actually go to the source and reach out directly. What are some of this year's biggest scams that you're seeing?
You know, besides IRS impersonation, which is massive, we have seen this big uptick in criminals filing returns on behalf of a taxpayer. So what happens is they get your Social Security number from the dark web, or by mistake you've given it to somebody who has now sold it. They file a tax return in your name. So it says Kelly has filed taxes. Then they divert whatever refund that they are claiming into an account for themselves. The real issue with this particular scam is you will not find out until you yourself file the taxes. And the IRS says, Kelly, we already got a return from you. So one of the ways to work around, I know, right? So one of the ways that you work around this, of course, is you've got to protect your information. You want to try to file in a timely fashion. If you're really worried about this, or you think your information's out there, you should get an extra level of security with a tax IP PIN, where you have to have a special PIN. Only you have that, and that will allow you to file, and no one else can file in your name.
It's horrifying because I think so many people rely on those refunds, you know, to shore up or pay off debt, and then you end up in a situation where you were expecting that, you don't get it. What about tax preparers? Because I know that this is something that I'm always, you know, I always leave it to the last minute. I said, well, maybe I should do this, but I've heard you say that this can be confusing.
The vast majority of tax preparers are wonderful. They're legitimate. They're great. However, if you're getting some sort of message or solicitation, I'll save you money, I'll do this, I'll do that, just beware, because any promises, that's what kind of is like that little red flag goes up. Also, if a tax preparer will not sign a return, that is a huge red flag.
Why?
Because they have to, by law, sign a return in order to file it. And by the way, the IRS has a special part of the website at IRS.gov where you can look and say, how do I hire a legitimate tax preparer? So IRS.gov, just search, how do I find a tax preparer who's legitimate? Right there on the website.
And then if something does happen, where should people go to report a scam, right? God forbid.
Right. So there are two places. One is the IRS has just opened a brand new part of the website, so irs.gov, help and identity theft. But also the FTC has a standing website that's quite good, identitytheft.gov. Either of these places will give you plenty of information. You've got to file a police report. There are very specific actions to take. Don't worry, you're not the first one to go through it, but it does take some time.
Such great information, and I'm really going to take that with me. Anytime that I feel urgent, like that this is a red flag, just pause and take a breath. Jill Schlesinger, thank you so much for your expertise. If you have a question about your financial life, you can email Jill at askjill@cbs.com. She could answer during an upcoming segment, and you can hear more advice on her podcast, Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger. New episodes drop every Saturday and Sunday.